Latina Leadership Podcast, the podcast made for Latinas by Latinas, with Angelica Cázares, Carolina Arenas, Diana Ruby, Jacqueline Villagomez, and Sonia Ramirez. Get comfortable, amiga, and enjoy the conversations.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Latina Leadership Podcast. I'm your host, Sonia Ramirez, and today I am so excited because I have I'm my most favorite sports reporter on board with us, Julia Morales. You know her. She's part of the broadcast team for the AT&T SportsNet and Southwest. But more importantly, she's a field reporter from my beloved Houston Astros. Thank you, Julia, for being with us, and welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
Yes. I've met Julia along my career for a few times, and I've been blessed to interview her along the way. So today, it's exciting to have her on the podcast and just ask her a few questions, about her career and where she's at, and about she's changed a whole lifetime since the last time we talked. You're a mother. You started the clothing line.
True.
It's like you have a whole other life.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's crazy how much has changed just in the last year. The Astros are two-time champions. I mean, we could go on. A lot of good things happening on.
Yes. I wanted to start though, for those of you, may not be familiar with your story. Like, what inspired you to get into media? What was it that was the red flag, or I want to be in media, I want to do that?
Yeah, it's a really fun question for me to answer because I love telling the story, and I love giving a shout out to my dad, who's just my biggest mentor and one of my biggest inspirations in all of this. And so it dates back to when I was a kid, actually. So my dad was a school teacher my entire life. He taught government at the time where all this began to happen, but he was, teaching the seniors and teaching them the ways of the government and what goes on in the United States, but had such a deep passion and really wanted to make a change in the world. And he had this crazy, crazy idea to run for office, and not just like run for city council. He decided he was going to run for United States Senate.
Wow.
And people literally thought he was crazy. Like, what are you doing? You don't have any backing. You have no money. You have no political experience. But Dad was like, no, I mean, I have heart. I have the passion, and I have the knowledge. Like, he obviously was someone that was very aware of what was going on and followed things. So he got enough signatures on a petition to get on the ballot. He ended up having a very historical race, one that grabbed a lot of media attention, which is where I come in, because as a 10-year-old, I had reporters in my living room. They were on my front lawn. They were at the election parties. I was watching all of this unfold because it didn't just gain local attention with the media. This was a national story because of who he was, which was kind of a nobody when it came to politics. And and then people kind of fell in love with his story, just like an ordinary guy doing extraordinary things, and really got a lot of the Hispanic vote to come out. A great turnout. Was, very passionate about getting people to register to vote, young people, young Latinos. That was a huge part of what he was kind of doing with this whole campaign. He did not win, but he, like I said, brought the Latinos out to vote, became the first Hispanic to run for U.S. Senate. And that was actually on my college exam when I took, U.S. government in college, which was crazy. But it goes back to the media and me just kind of falling in love with the reporters that I met and watched. And I thought, I want to be a news reporter. At the time, there wasn't a ton of women in sports. That comes later in my story, but that's where it all began. Just being kind of a 10-year-old watching my dad do something incredible, and falling in love with the reporters and their entire job, and the way that they did their jobs, and the thrill of the red light going on and the live shots. All of that was very exciting to me.
That's a beautiful story. I love that. And do you feel like that's where you got like your spirit and your entrepreneurial spirit, like to start the projects that you've started, like, your clothing line? I'm so excited, because I love this shirt. I'm not lying. It is so soft. And I love the baseball, y'all, because I'm a big sports person. So when you came out with this line, I had to pick up a couple of shirts. I have the sweatshirt. It's so comfortable, and I get so many compliments. But I wanted to touch a little bit on that, on your entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah, that, it's this, people calling my dad crazy. They were calling me crazy too for trying to add to kind of what I already had going on. Like you mentioned, I'm a mom of a 2.5-year-old now. So trying to figure out how to be a mom is hard enough, and then be a mom and have a career is very hard. The logistics are insane, right? I mean, I think that's something that maybe moms don't talk about enough, or, it's just something you don't really understand until you're in it. And I already have a very crazy job just in terms of the hours that I work, the traveling that I do. And so to throw a kid in the mix and try to figure out childcare, and, you want your kid to be in the best childcare possible and with people who love them, and all of that. There's a lot of stress that comes with that. So on top of all that, I have a lot of ideas, and I have a lot of dreams and goals that I want to keep working towards. And so I didn't want to just stop doing that. So I spent the year, basically like 2021, I started to, try to think about how I could start my own clothing line. And it was basically something I wanted to do for like the casual fans going to baseball games. There are so many Astro shirts out there. There are so many options for, someone, if you want to walk into a team store. My idea was to have something a little more generic for the mom who was going to go drop their kid off, or, sit out at a little league game in the morning and then maybe head to the ballpark to watch her Astros later the afternoon. She could wear the same shirt, or, I mean, just people want sometimes they want neutrals. They kind of go with everything. So these were the ideas that I was having. I also love the fact that baseball is just like, it's not just the Astros in Houston. I mean, we've got U of H, there's some great teams, obviously the big collegiate. Yeah, I mean, you're fans of more than just one team, right? Like you said, you're a sports fan. So again, all of it was kind of like going back to, it's like, what do I do? What do I do? How do I make this work? And so I found somebody that could help me. I have been doing a lot of it though. It's like the customer service, the behind the scenes, the website, the e-commerce. Oh my gosh, girl, I was Googling every day on just like, how do I do this? How do I do this? I didn't go to school for it, right? And so the business world, the small business world, it's hard. It's still hard. And, but I loved it, right? And like goes back to my dad's passion. Like I just had a passion for doing this on the side, and I figured it out as I went. It took off because of the timing. The Astros doing really well in September. They're about to win a division. Like there's all this momentum. And then I launch. And I don't know, thinking back, I'm like, what was I thinking? Like I was about to get so busy with the postseason, and I'm over here like, my website's down. I got to figure out how to get it back up, or the order's wrong. I gotta help them with their order. It's just like, who knew, right? Who knew? You just got to take a chance. So I took a chance. It went really well. I finally feel like I'm getting my feet on the ground as far as like what I can handle, how much I can handle. But I want to do so much more. So I appreciate you supporting. I mean, it's really about that, right? We're all kind of supporting each other in some way. And for me, I felt like this was giving baseball moms out there just like another option in their closet. And the other thing, I kept hearing about how their kids change teams every year. And I'm like, all right, well then I just need a good solid black and white hat or a navy hat. I'm just like, and you can wear it every year and just put on the, change up the colors and whatever mascot that they're wearing. But again, you can wear it to an Astros game at the end of the day.
And how'd you get the slogan, like baseball y'all?
Yeah, so I say y'all a lot, like any other Texan, but I would use it on social media a lot, especially Twitter over the years. This is my 11th year with the Astros. So fans know me, right? Like fans know who I am. The people that tune in every night, they know my personality by now. What you see on TV is exactly what you see, like who I am off the TV. And so like the way that I would tweet, I would use y'all a lot to explain different things going on in the game, or to react to different things going on in the game. So I did it last night. Yordan Alvarez, grand slam. It was the second home run of the game. So I'm like, I'm reacting and I'm sharing information on what's going on. And then Yordan hits a grand slam, and it was so incredible that it was like, I had no other words than like y'all. And I did it all caps, period, until people knew like something huge just happened. What happened? Like if you're watching, you're with me, right? Like you totally feel it. But if you're not, you're like, wait, what's happening in the game? Like, why is Julia freaking out? And, it's like World Series champions, the final out is made. And I'm like, y'all. And it's all these exclamation points, like full caps and all that. Or it's, it's things that things that are really sentimental that happen in the game, or sweet stories that happen. And I'm just like, baseball, y'all. Like, there's no other way to describe it other than it's just
Mhm.
beautiful. It's baseball. And then that's, that's kind of my way to describe it. So that's where it came from. I wanted it on a shirt. I thought, I thought it was cute. I thought it was a good idea to just like have something fun, something generic. Again, I'm not trying to like sell shirts to just Astros fans. This goes well beyond it. And people in the
Mhm.
South obviously say this, so I was hoping to reach a bigger audience and a bigger market with this. But it's fun, and I'm getting good feedback from everyone. There's more sayings and slogans coming. All of that's a part of this and a part of my process. But yeah, definitely a hit to start.
It's a home run. It's definitely a home run. It's exciting. Do you have any plans for a brick and mortar or just online right now?
No, just online right now. Gosh, it's like there's so many hills to climb with so many different things. I
Mhm.
like it's just exciting. We did expand the space that we had, that where we're shipping things to and shipping out of. So it's the baby steps, right? Just kind of seeing where it goes. Like I still don't know how long this is going to last or what's going to happen, but that's kind of the fun part of entrepreneurship and
Mhm.
figuring all out, or what it turns into. If you check out julienross.com/shop, you'll see some of the things that I'm talking about online. They're available in a lot of different colors. What's fun for me now is the pop-ups on the weekends, because it's baseball season. It's baseball season
Yes.
all year round, but like
Yes.
these little league tournaments are insane, and moms are out there. I see y'all there at 7:30 a.m. with your bags packed. Like, who knows what time you got up that morning to pack the snacks and the bats and it's like the sunscreen, and you have all this stuff and you drag it out there, and then you watch your son play in a few games, right? And you're there all day long. So what's fun now is I'm setting up at these pop-ups like around the Houston area, and I'm also trying to find other things that moms might need or like. And I'm working on like a customized scorecard. So, maybe you don't know how to keep score. Maybe that's something you want to learn while you're sitting there watching. So things like that I'm going to offer at the table. Just fun. It's all fun. It's a sport I love so much, and I know other people out there love it too. So that's what it's about.
It's exciting, and I'm so proud of you. And I've been to a few of your pop-ups. That's where I got the shirt. And I
Yay!
kind of went crazy. I was like, I remember I met your mom, and she's such a lovely person, and she helped me pick out the size. And I wanted to get so much more, but I said I had to stop. Okay, okay. So I got a T-shirt and a sweatshirt, but I need to get a cap. I still need to
And
get a cap.
my mom's the best for helping me with some of these pop-ups. She like shows up at
Oh.
things. She's the best. She's absolute best.
That's great. That's great that you have that support system. And, recently, the Latina Leadership Podcast, we held an event because, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So we held
Mhm.
an event and we invited a few experts in the field to talk about that and discuss that topic, because oftentimes, that topic can be taboo in our community, especially in our culture. So I wanted to ask, with everything that you do with your career, your business, being a wife and a mom, how do you manage all that? And how do you find time for you, like for self care? What do you do?
I don't know how I manage it. That is the $1,000,000 secret. Ugh, I mean, I wish I knew. I'm going to be completely honest. Like, I don't have it all together, right? Like, every day I've got challenges and every day I face adversity. And I think it's important to share that with people too. Like, don't look at my Instagram and think that I'm just like, I've got it all figured out, because that is far from the truth. And I think that's okay, right? I think that's just
Mhm.
part of life and seasons of your life. And I'm kind of in a crazy season right now. What's important for me to survive, especially the baseball season, because this the hardest part of it all. Like, I am the busiest person in the world right now, but there is nothing harder than leaving my kid for a baseball road trip. So, as long as I've had this job, a big part of my job has been traveling with the team and going on these road trips, whether they be 6 days to the one I just came off of, which was 11 days. Now, I mean, like, I will share that with people I don't know very well or I'm meeting for the first time. Like, yeah, I have an 11-day road trip, and they're like, "Oh, your kid's coming with you," and I'm like, "No, no, that's not how it works. Like, I am working. I am at the field all day. I get back at 11 to 12 a.m. in the morning, and I have calls in the morning. Like, there's no room for her in this space. It's really,
Mhm.
really hard. It's so challenging on my heart and soul as a mom. It's like I'm missing things. And so is every working mom, right? Anyone who leaves their house is going to miss something because their kids just continue to develop and grow and do really, really cool things every day. I'm just in the season. Now I have the off season to really connect and really lean into being mom and taking her all the things. The support system is everything. You mentioned it. My mom, my husband, my kid is surrounded with people who absolutely love her like I do, and that does help me. And that's kind of all she needs, right? She just needs love and just be shown attention, and she's thriving. She's doing great. But again, it falls, like then you've got the mom guilt and all of that. So I don't know. Like I take it day by day. I am super present, going back to things that are important for me. I am super present when I'm there with her. Like I think that it's not quantity, it's quality of the time that you're spending with your kids when you are them. So I'm really try hard to like put the phone away, just kind of like be there. And that's hard too, because work is calling, work is emailing. But I find that it helps me. It kind of fills my cup. Right. And then when I leave again, I feel like we did spend some good time together. And then on the road, like everyone's like, you get to stay in a hotel. I would give anything to go to a hotel and to sleep in and to get, like have a break from the kid life and the mom life. And so I have to take advantage of that. And that's where I get a lot of my work done. That's where I'm able to do a podcast with you. I spend my free time, as I use quotations, on the road doing things that are good for me, productive for me, kind of getting me to that next point, get my nails done. If it's, like all of those things, get a good workout in, because at home, I'm just going to be slammed with trying to be a mom. And that's just the reality of it. And I love my job enough to where I think there's room for both. And again, seasons of life, right? Like I'm going to look back in 5 years, I'm sure what I'm doing now is going to look different. And that's just the way life is. And the industry is like, who knows what streaming is going to look like and what the way MLB is going to produce games. Like, I'm not trying to look too far down the road, but I'm also a realist and know that things can look different. You can't control all that. So try to enjoy what we have when you're in it is where I'm at. I think that's the biggest key for me.
Oh, that's great advice. And it's good to know that you do take sometimes like to go get your nails done or just to find a little bit of peace. That's important. I haven't done my nails in a while.
There's an off day on Thursday with the team, and I'm like, I've got a list. I'm like, all right, get your nails done. I need some things at Sephora, like go to Sephora, walk around, and then like and enjoy it, right? Like don't have the guilt of, my kid's at home, someone's helping me watch her, and here I am walking around Sephora. Like it is what it is. So just take a breath and enjoy the fact that you can like have a few moments to yourself and do a little shopping and then get back to it, right? And then get back to work and then FaceTime when you get back, right? Which is what I do.
Important. So important. And I wanted to touch on because I love your passion for animals, because I love animals too. And about the last time I saw you, you were at a fundraiser. I think it was, I can't remember the store, so I can't say because I can't remember what store it was. But you had these animals there, and one of your organizations that you support is Houston Pets Alive. So can you tell me a little bit about that, how you got involved with them? Because I find that so admirable because I'm a pet. Well, I used to be a pet mom. We lost our pet a year ago, actually, yesterday. So just taking some time before we think about getting another one. But I wanted to talk a little bit about that.
Totally. Yeah. And I understand where you're coming from too. Take your time. They are family members, but so my husband is dying. We would have 15 dogs if it was up to my husband. Just the biggest dog lover. I'm an animal lover who grew up with them. But as I talk about my job, you're quickly understanding why it's very hard for us to have one. And up until Matt retired from baseball, Matt was gone through baseball season. So there was no one at my house. When I would go on the road with the team, nobody there. So we literally could not keep an animal at home. It was just impossible for us. So, and the way we figured out a way to have, give love and have an animal in our life is that we decided to foster in the off season. So we'd be super busy all year. Matt would come back from his season. The Astros would, go to the postseason. And then once they were done, we would head up to Houston Pets Alive and grab our first foster dog. And fostering is so rewarding, can be really challenging, just, depending on what's going on with the dog and kind of figuring out the animal, or if you're into cats, you can do that too. But you're basically preparing them, you're trying to transition them, get them to a place where they can be adopted out. And that process is just so cool when you do, you start taking to adoption events. You have some background info on that animal, so you can share, do they like being around kids? Do they like walks? Are they snugglers? I mean, all the things that you start to learn about your foster dog, you share with families who could potentially adopt, and then they have a good idea, right? It's hard for a family to walk up to, and wanting to find a rescue dog. It's hard when you walk up to a cage and you have no idea what that dog is like. And so that's where fostering is so huge, so important. Houston Pets Alive is a no-kill animal rescue that I actually found out about through Lance McCullers Jr., one of the pitchers for the Astros. When he first got called up, he was very quick to find different rescues in the city of Houston that he could reach out to. Like, what can I do? How can I help? Can we have an event? And Houston Pets Alive was one that kind of was in on that. So I met them, learned a lot about fostering, and kind of fell in love. So that's how it began. I actually ended up joining the board, spent years on the board of directors there. Now I'm on an advisory board, and so many events later, I love them. I love what they're doing. It's grown a ton. Hurricane Harvey kind of exploded Houston Pets Alive, a lot of money coming in because of all the dogs that were displaced and what we were trying to do there. But we finally got to a point where it was like we knew how much we could handle, how many dogs we could help a year. And one thing that's really important to us is the spay and neuter program. So we got to get dogs off the street, right? We got to take care of this problem that we have in Houston, and just dogs running around, cats running around, just really get a good handle on that problem in Houston. And by doing that is the spay and neuter program, and working together with other rescues. It goes on and on and on. So I appreciate you even bringing it up. Just awareness is everything when you hear about different organizations and what they do. But Houston Pets Alive is a good one. We take the animals off the euthanasia list for BART, Harris County Shelter. There's constantly a list, right? It's overcrowded. They have too many animals and they put it out there. But if we can get them into a foster home, then you save their lives and eventually find them a home. So that's the point. And it's really cool. It's good work.
Thank you for explaining that, because I was didn't really understand the process that entails and fostering, but very, very eye opening, and it makes me want to maybe start looking into that in a little while further down the road. When considering a new pet, a new family member.
Yes,
Yeah,
I cry every time I give up a dog. I'll tell you that. Every time I foster
I was
one,
going to ask you, how do you keep from crying?
It's hard. It's not for the weak, but it's so rewarding. And we've had so many dogs, and some we don't keep up with as much. You don't get to know the adopters on certain occasions depending on the event, but sometimes you do, and it's fun to keep up with what's going on. There's a new little baby brother arrived, and now they have a sibling. It's stuff like that I love to hear, because they'll always have a special place in my heart.
Oh, well, that was my favorite pop-up you did. You had the animals there, and we had just lost ours, so me and my daughter were out there, and we were holding one of the puppies, and you don't understand how helpful that was. That was just amazing for us, and it was so helpful, to be able to hold a puppy at that moment. Yeah.
Aww.
I can see you're such a trailblazer. For me, you're like a Wonder Woman, not just in the sports world, but, for the community, you do so much good work. And, you're one of the few Latinas in your field that's doing what you do. And what advice would you give somebody else or other, young Latinas dreaming of a career like yours?
Yeah, just go. Dream big. Dream as big as you possibly can. What I found in my journey is that my dream job didn't even exist when I was 10 years old, because there weren't a lot of women in sports. And like you said, especially Latina women, we didn't have those opportunities. Fast forward 10 years, you saw them all of a sudden. I was like, wait, what is that? How can I switch to sports? You just have no idea what's out there and what will become. So dream big. If it's something that's never happened or you've never seen, but you want to do it, make it happen. Be the first. It is, of course, there can always be fear that comes with that, but don't let it stop you, right? Don't let fear of anything stop you from doing something. just use the energy and just kind of push your way through some of those boundaries and some of those things. So that would be a big part of my advice. Meet as many people as you can, connect with as many people as you can. The Hispanic community is super tight, and I've met some really, really cool people that do all kinds of different things. Lean on that. Use your mom's friends, use your dad's friends. It's like it's just such a tight community and full of people who do really cool things and are really good at what they do. So definitely don't be afraid to kind of use your circle, right? And just kind of build on that circle. Going back to connecting and just shake everyone's hand. You just have no idea who you might meet that will help you down the road. The world is very small. And in my case, the broadcasting world is very small and the sports world is even smaller. So it's crazy that the people that I've run into again, and, like have gotten jobs from, or, put in situations that worked out really well because I knew someone from back when. Do that. Yeah. Just, again, put yourself out there. Don't be afraid. Make eye contact and shake hands. And, I think it's just so important for women who are, really anyone, but especially for women who are trying to go somewhere, go someplace and do something. It can go a long way, and just have confidence in yourself, right? I mean, just be confident. You're so cool. I mean, whoever you are, whatever personality you have, it is cool. It is unique, and use it because, that's what makes us special. And I know it's sometimes hard to hear that when you're young. But it is something that you look back on and those are the things that separate you from others and make you different in the best way possible. So have confidence in yourself.
That's wonderful advice. And I want you to know you're one of those cool people that I've met in my lifetime that I feel so blessed and inspired to have met. I wouldn't be here with you on this podcast if I didn't believe that or had, faith to take a leap of faith to be here doing a podcast.
Oh, you're so sweet for saying that. And I think that's another great point. Like, tell people things that you feel and, just don't hold back. Like, the life is too short, just to hold things back. Let people know who helped you and why it helped you. It makes people's day and it connects you in a different way. So I think that's a great thing too, just to show that we should be complimenting each other and we should tell each other that we think highly of one another. Let's build each other's confidence up, right?
Yes, I think that's a great way to end the podcast. And then just really quick, for anybody that wants to follow you or, buy your shirts or check out your line, where can they go to do that?
Yeah, I'm on social media. It's either Julia Morales or Julia Morales Clark. And then on my website, juliamorales.com, you can go there to shop, or juliamorales.com/shop to take you straight to all the good stuff. Yeah, I would love to see you. I do events, I MC, I do public speaking, I speak to journalism classes. I'm open to do a lot of things too. So if there's anyone out there that's interested in any of that, just let me know.
You heard it here, folks. If you want to see what Julia's up to in the near future, just follow her at juliamorales.com. She's all over social media, and check her out on the games because she has the most style of any reporter I have seen. I don't know how you do it with those heels, but I love tuning in sometimes just to see what you're going to wear, and those heels on that heel is like amazing.
Oh my gosh. I know. I've started to sprinkle in some sneakers every once in a while just to give my feet a break. That's the truth.
If you do a sneaker, let me know because I would love to buy some sneakers from you that have Astros or Cleaned Out or something like that.
It's a good idea. It's a great idea.
Well, thank you, Julia. Thank you for joining us. And that's the end of our episode. And if you want to keep up with the Latina Leadership Podcast, just join us on our website. We have other episodes that are streaming right now. Thank you again, Julia, for joining us. It's been a pleasure. And take care and go Stros. And I'm so excited to see what happens in the future, for not just Astros, but with you and your career.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Bye.
What did you think of the conversation? If you enjoyed what you heard, let us know in the comments. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Thank you for listening to the Latina Leadership Podcast, and we will see you next time.